Hey Kat, how are you? Hey Tamar, how are you? Hey Anne-Marie. Good evening, guys. What's going on? Is that? Oh, that must be from the crystal. I don't know. I think it's this new moon, man. I'm not sure. I bet my ass has been like knackered for the last 3 days, Anne-Marie. I'm not exactly sure. I've been out of it all day today. I woke up with a headache this morning. I've been kind of fighting it all day. My head's just sort of been like half throbby, and I've just been tired. I slept even part of the day. I don't know if it's this moon. It's just, I don't know. I've been this way like since, I want to say, what day was it? Was it like Monday or Tuesday? There was one day where I was really tired and I gave like a really shitty reading for the daily, like for the forecast. I just didn't feel connected at all. I was in like a total brain fog. And then I feel like this week has just been, hey Nancy, how are you? Um, Happy Friday to you too. I just feel like this week is just kind of, I've been all right. I've just been real slow moving, kind of, I don't know, taking things as they go. Sorry to be yawning, guys. This is not, maybe I'm oversleeping. I don't know. Oh, thank you, Kat. Kat Metzenberger for Tamar, because you're my only YouTube viewer right now. Kat Metzenberger says, after reading your Aquarius reading for 2020, I'm addicted to your readings. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's nice to hear. I did all of those and they were kind of long. Each one was over an hour and I sort of didn't get a whole lot of feedback on them. And they were for a whole year for each sign and I've never done that before. So I've done it for like individual clients when people call me and ask me for a reading for their just themselves. And that's not quite as broad. But when you're looking at like the energy of a whole collective of people, it can be a lot to sort of tap into, I guess. Is it affecting you too, Nancy? Tamar, no, all of the 2020 should be on YouTube on my channel. If you look on the YouTube channel, there should be there. They might be a few back now because I did them like last week. So, because I do the daily, so the daily videos would be after it. So you need to go, well, what did I put as the cover art? The candles were for December's monthly, and then for it's like a sunrise picture, I think, yeah, it's a sunrise because the reason why I use the sunrise picture, it's like a blue and orange kind of sunrise color thumbnail, and I use that for the 2020s because I thought about the new decade dawning. So it's kind of like it looks like a sunrise to me. So I use that as the thumbnail picture to kind of signify. I like choose my thumbnails, guys. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but I choose specific pictures that I want. I don't choose like clickbaity. Well, you know that if you're on my channel at all. I don't feel like my stuff is clickbaity at all. It just sort of has a title, and then I like to keep calm, beautiful pictures. And so when you see the pink, you know, oh, that's the daily. When you see the green, you know that's the Sunday reading, which has the green leaf, which signifies growth, because we're looking at the whole week, the underpinning energy of the week, so our growth throughout the week. So I put those 3 little leaves, the picture with the 3 leaves in the corner, and then each monthly I'll pick a different picture for what I think represents for that month. And so for like December, I did the candles because I liked those lights. I thought that they were sort of Christmassy without being too associated with Christmas. They could also sort of be associated with like the candles of the menorah, or maybe a candle like that somebody might light during Kwanzaa, which is sort of a mid, and also the light. The light is a big thing with, I wanted light, representation of light. Anyways. Yes, because of dawning. Exactly, Tamar. That's exactly why I used that picture for the 2020 yearlies. So there to be like the new dawn kind of thing. That's what I was thinking when I chose that picture. You saved it to remind you next year. Awesome, cool. And check it out and tell me how it goes. That's what I'm interested in knowing. I'm really interested in like whether or not these things come to pass. I don't really like predicting too deep into the future because I don't want anybody ever living for anything I say. I want you guys to decide and make the decisions yourself and figure it out yourself. I'm certainly here to give guidance or help with decision makings and stuff like that. But predicting somebody's whole year is kind of like, it gets dicey. But that's why I kind of keep them sort of broad and open and collective, and I made it very clear over and over again. Take what you want and leave the rest. Hey Ducky, Ducky's here. Hey Regina, how are you? My stomach is kind of a little bit upset. This doesn't help. I'm having a Mountain Dew right now to try and wake up a little bit. I just feel like I'm in like one of those, I think it's just winter, like fogs. I don't know. I think I went through this last year at this time too. Maybe this is just not my time of year. Okay, that music is a little loud. It just makes me want to sort of hibernate. But what I do is difficult. I don't know that it's difficult. It can be a little bit, I enjoy what I do. I enjoy doing the readings. I enjoy doing the daily message. I enjoy doing private readings for people. I really like it actually one-on-one, the best. But it's not that it's hard. It's just sort of, I don't know. I'm gonna stop yawning. Sorry, guys. No Java. Like, actually, this is probably not even good for me to be having, but I just feel like a little bit tired. Have some tea. Oh, that's what you're saying, is have, not Java. I know, Mountain Dew is not good. It's not. It's really not. Yeah, it's not. So, I don't know. There was a little bit of confusion. I think that the flyer said 7 o'clock start time, and then 7:30 is when we normally start, and I think I announced it this morning at 7:30. So, we've kind of got some time to kill between now and 7:30. I don't want to start until 7:30. If anybody's interested in a charming, you can certainly buy one. I don't have any reservations at this time. So, if anybody's interested in purchasing a charming, you can do that now, and I can put you on the list. The charming will get you into the drawing that I will draw for tonight. I'm going to draw 2 names for the mediumship readings. Those would be half-hour mediumship readings with me over the phone or Facebook video. And again, with the mediumship readings, I'm practicing, so you guys are giving me an opportunity to practice, and I'm giving them out as free sort of prizes for people that purchase charmings as a little added incentive. So, just making you aware of that. What is going on with these cards, guys? That 9 of Swords that's haunting us 4 days in a row now. It's crazy. Today's the 13th, Friday the 13th. I should know that. I posted that thing about Friday the 13th. Awesome, Kat. I'm glad to hear that. She says, I know it was broad, but it just hit me as fitting with my goals for the year as I was going over resolutions. Awesome. That's wonderful to hear. Good. I'm glad. Mountain Dew is so not good. I know. I'm trying to get them out of the fridge, to be honest. I bought, what did I buy? I bought Squirt, which is non-caffeinated. But I usually like to drink one at night over a glass of crushed ice. It's so good when it's really, really cold. And when you pour it, a lot of the bubbles come out of it. So it's just like this like fruity, sweet drink. Fruity sweet drink! My favorite! So, I like to do that, but I got sort of not hooked on Mountain Dew, but I like Mountain Dew. I like the flavor of Mountain Dew, but it's not, the caffeine is not my friend, I think. It also doesn't help that, like, I have the heater on in here, I have the fireplace going. Alright, so I liked putting on the fireplace, I just absolutely love it. I'm going to adjust cameras and get ready for... Are you laughing at me, Tamar? Don't be laughing at me. Let me just adjust these cameras. Hold on, guys. I should have done this before I got on mine. But I didn't, so you guys will get to see some behind-the-scenes action of how we change this. Okay, there it's flipped. There we go. I just feel wiped out. I don't even think that it's, I don't know. It might be this moon. Like, I just feel like I can't even catch my breath, and I don't even smoke cigarettes. And I just feel like drained. Kat says she would die without caffeine. I would too. I have coffee every morning. I have 2 cups of coffee in the morning. And then I don't usually have much caffeine in the afternoon unless I might have a soda. But I try not to. So that's why I went and I got the non-caffeinated soda in the evening. But sometimes when I have to do charmings and it's a day like today, I crack out the Mountain Dew. Let's see what my fortune cookie says. I get these things from this, I think it's soulvibe.com. I don't know, somehow I got on one of their mailing lists, so I get their daily horoscopes and stuff that come and I read them just for fun. And I get this thing that they send me every night in my email, which is the fortune cookie. I don't know if you guys know about it. So I always check it. It says crack it open and you press the button and it gives you a little Chinese fortune for the day. So mine today says, never give up, always find a reason to keep trying. I think I found my reason. I'm just kidding. So, never give up, people. Never. I'll share a little something. Hey, Queen Kimmy, how are you? Last night you had a very out-of-place anxiety attack. It's funny. It's not, I don't feel, well, that's actually, it's interesting you should mention that. I was feeling anxious about money yesterday. Weird, the chat just like blinked on and off. I don't know what's going on. Spirit needs to back off my damn computer. I'll share something with you guys while you're here, while we wait. Can you guys see this? Did you see that? We may have a new friend coming. Mommy may be pregnant! Is it? Oh, wait. Oh, it's so dark. So dark. What's going on? Why is it not? Oh, it's my phone that went dark. Not. Can y'all see him? Isn't he precious? Hey, Terry, how are you? Hey, Sheila, are you guys together for Christmas? This is his father. And then this is his mom. So I'm assuming he's going to look somewhat like her. Tell Sheila I said hi, Terry. Tell her I said happy holidays. You too, Terry. Happy holidays to you too. He is a cutie. I think he's going to be coming home with me. Sweet one, lol, not weak one. Yeah, I think he's going to be coming home. We're working on it now. He might be roaming around this house. And then I'll have 3 dogs and 3 cats, and I really will be, I think, an old single lady. All the old single ladies! All the single ladies! All the old single ladies! Put your cats up! Oh, speaking of... who's coming in here now? Who's coming in here now? Anybody have any questions for me? I'm sorry last night was so much for you, Queen Kimmy. I know, right? Well, they all just came in here. They're just, like, protecting me from my own voice or something. I'm not sure what they're doing. They're like barking and running in here like on patrol. But this new cat, he's a Maine Coon. Oh, actually, Sheila, Terry, tell Sheila I'm getting a Maine Coon because of her cat that she used to have, the big gray one. I don't remember his name. I used to, it's funny that you're here tonight, Terry. This cat that I showed you guys, I want a gray one, like her old cat. What was that cat's name, Terry? Ask Sheila what her Maine Coon cat was, that big, beautiful gray cat her and Martin used to have. I mean, I'm assuming they used to have him. They may still have him. I don't know how long Maine Coons live, but that was like some 20 years ago. Um, I loved that cat. He was one of the most gorgeous cats I've ever met in my life, and I've always dreamed about having one of these cats. And so, this baby here that I was just showing you guys is that breed. I was looking for a light gray one, like her cat, because I just loved him. But this is a baby Maine Coon. And so I'm considering not even considering, we're like in the adoption process. And this is his, hold on. This is his dad. And this is his mom. And part of the reason why I'm getting him, a large part of the reason, the only reason why I absolutely, ever since meeting Sheila's cat, years and years ago, I've always had a thing for Maine Coons because of Sheila. And I wish, what was that cat's name? Did Terry leave? Hey, hey Bessie, how are you? Right, that's the way he became the Danny Bunch. Exactly, Nancy. Exactly. Queen Kimmy asked, how can I feel safe with all these spirits trying to, what is it, speak through me? Is that, yeah, oh, sorry, I couldn't see the whole box. I would say this, Queen Kimmy, I would ground as best you can. I would close down your chakras. I would know that you have dominion over your own space, your auric field, and all of the aspects of your being, right? You don't have to let anything in. Nothing's allowed in. You are protected, not only by your own spirit, but by your spirit guides, by your own God, by your own angels or archangels. You can call them in at any point in time and just say, please assist me, protect me, keep me grounded and guarded, and that's it. Don't entertain anything else. It doesn't have to be a struggle. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm so whipped and this, that, and the other. I mean, even with me right now, like, I'm like, oh, I feel tired and blah, 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 blah. And maybe it's due to the moon phases. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's my own, I don't know, but regardless, like how do I want to say this? Like I don't set myself up for like allowing a bunch of other shit in behind that. It's like I'm just straight up tired, I'm gonna rest kind of thing. So like with your situation, and I don't know the exact specifics of it, Queen Kimmy, but I would say if you feel like you're being attacked, if you feel like you're being harassed by spirit, they don't have a right to unless you're allowing them to. And if you're allowing them to, then you need to put a stop to that. And to put a stop to that, you need to close down your chakras to a, not like all the way, just close them down to what's appropriate. Don't be too wide open. Don't be going out there and being all like, mung, 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 I want to connect to everything and all that's out there because shit will try and take advantage. Close it down to what's appropriate for you and only you. Ask your spirit guides to protect you. They're around you. Work with them and them only. You have dominion over your own auric field, over your own energy, over your own space, your own chakras. Nothing's allowed in unless you say it's okay or you open yourself to it and then don't close yourself back, right? You can put up protections. There's different schools of thought. One school of thought is that if you close up your aura completely, you might seal in whatever sort of negative or low vibrational energy that you brought into your space. So that's why you want to ground first and clear it out. And then at that point, tell everything, back the fuck off. You're not allowed. I made this body, I made this energy field, it's mine. You don't have rights here, bye-bye. And that would be the best way to sort of clear your space and not have, just because they speak to you doesn't mean you have to listen. And I would suggest, I'm not saying that you shouldn't listen, but you want to be clear on what you're listening to, why you're listening to it, what is it telling you, is it worth even your time? I always, one thing that I go by is it paying my rent? You know, if it's not, I used to make a joke all the time, but like if spirit was trying to get my attention and wasn't paying my rent, I wasn't interested. I was like, sorry, I gotta go to work, boo. I got shit to do. So I would factor those things in. Your mental health and your happiness is first and foremost, right? And so you like that one. So I would stick to those ideas first, and then you can play with it, right? Like, but I would also be careful what you're playing with, because if anything is sort of attacking you or stressing you out or doing anything that makes you feel like it's happening against your will, then I would put a stop to it and shut yourself down a little bit. It's not. I really don't. How do I want to put this? Like I've been taught by. Let me turn off this heater 1 second. It's a little too warm in here. It's just blasting me with heat and I don't need it on. I've been taught by a couple of different people. Some people are more protection oriented or geared towards, oh, you got to put up your protection. And I believe that at times you can and it doesn't hurt to do that. But I've also been taught by other people that believe that people that have been doing spirit work, like mediumship work, in heavy duty communication with spirit, like bringing through messages and all of that sort of stuff, that really don't see any negativity in spirit. And that they believe that if you open yourself up to that and you believe that that exists, then you open yourself to those experiences. But if you don't dwell in that and you don't focus on that and you don't allow that in, it doesn't. Spirit is really a benevolent, loving energy that we're all a part of, that we all come from. Are there higher and lower vibrations of it? Completely. Do we want to get caught up in the higher vibrations versus the lowers? Completely. Can we stay in the higher vibration all the time? That I don't know. I'm not so sure that we're supposed to. Like when I've been looking at it, sometimes I think that, you know, we came here to a third dimensional plane for a reason. I do think that we came here to sort of bring those fifth dimensional energies down, or those higher vibrational energies onto this level and sort of raise this vibration up a little bit. But I'm not sure how fast we're supposed to do that, or how much we're supposed to negate the present moment that we're in the present body that we're in. So to me, I like to look at my spirituality or my connection to spirit and try and incorporate it into what I've already got going on here on this planet, versus trying to escape this planet to go to some other dimension. Like a lot of the 5D people are like, oh, I'm ascending, help, what do I do? It's like, calm down. You spent all this time putting together a body with a spirit on the other side to get here, to get into the body, to spend your whole time trying to get out. Don't worry, you'll get out soon enough. We all die. You know? So I kind of feel like if we came here for the ride, enjoy it. Make the most of it and do the things that like feel fun. Right? And if that's exploration of spirit, do that for sure. But if it's something where you feel like you're being attacked or that you don't feel like you have control over, then I would like regain control by like closing the doors a little bit, taking your space back, and re-owning your space. Because ultimately I do believe what some of these teachers have taught me, that spirit is just a really sort of benevolent and loving. Hold on. Oh shoot. Can you guys see that? I can't tell if you guys can see that. What did I do? Damn it. All the good stuff. You guys miss all the good stuff. Did you guys see that? Hold on. Speaking about spirit. What you missed is she was giving him full-on action. Oh, here we go. She's like, can you see her? She's like licking his ears and humping him. She's my small female bulldog. And she's totally showing him what Friday the 13th is all about. She's like, I'm going to give you some of this creative goddess energy. Here's the thing. Queen Kimmy starts floating. Help! Please, girl, you're fine. I think it's like sometimes people just need to reel it in. Oh, hold on. Let's see if we can catch some of this on video. This is some high quality bulldog love happening here. She's like licking his ear. She knows we're watching her. Look. She giving him some of that full moon. She giving him some of that full moon goddess energy right there. You a hoe. You just like your papa. You a hoe, girl. Get off of him. Hey, Jen Nichols, how are you? Queen Kimmy says, do you feel energy in your body? My body constantly... I constantly feel energy and it's just overwhelming. Again, I have to say this. I think that it can be overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be, right? And if you're overwhelmed, just rest. If you've got a lot coursing through you, shut it down. Slow it down. Again, it's a situation where I think that you can have more control over it than it can have control over you. But you have to be aware of that and you have to live from that place. If you don't live from that place, then it's going to overwhelm you. But again, it's like an idea of how much are you opening yourself up to? If I'm reading somebody's space, I have to remember to close everything down afterwards and leave it there. Let go of it. Oh, Jen Nichols, she's on the board. Thank you, Jen. I see that. Do you have a subject you want, Charm, Jen? I love Jen Nichols. She's like, ground yourself, queen. Are you doing the breath work? It's true. Simple breathing techniques will ground you. Just imagine a grounding cord coming from the base of your the base of your spine down into the center of the planet, and just slowly bring your chakras in. Right? You don't have to be open to everything and trying to pick up everything. Eat some beef. Do you eat meat? Meat helps to ground you. If you're a non-meat eater, I guess carbs could ground you. They could at least make you sleepier. But if you're saying you're being attacked on the astral, I don't know if sleep is the best thing for you, if that's what you want. But the thing is I don't think that you should feel as though stuff has the right to attack you. I don't know what your religious beliefs are. I'm not saying that you have to have religious beliefs, but I work with angels and I call in archangels for protection. So I believe that I'm very protected. Does that mean my life is perfect? No. But I do believe that they will answer if they're called, right? And if you call in archangels, at least you know what energies you're calling in, what sort of entities you're calling in, versus sometimes I think one of the mistakes that I used to make when I was younger is if I was in a situation, maybe this applies to you, maybe not, but I'm just going to share this and then we'll get into Jen's charming. When I was younger, I used to sort of make the mistake of calling out, maybe before bed in sleep, calling out or praying, just oh, I need help. I don't know how to figure this out. Da 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 da. And shit would show up, as far as spirit, right? But I never asked, what was that spirit? Was it a guide? Was it beneficial? Was it a high vibration? Was it low vibration? Was it here to help me? Was it here to give me just fucking busy work to keep me preoccupied? Was it here to stress me out? And so I think at those times I did get a little bit more overwhelmed by some of this stuff because I wasn't necessarily doing the work or the discernment. Discernment is very key in spirit work or spirit guide work or any kind of spiritual pursuit. You need to discern what's right and most beneficial for you, right? And so a lot of times I think I open the door to stuff without realizing it. Not that anything super bad or negative happened to me, but because again, I feel like I was protected in a lot of regards. But you can call in specific angelic energies to help you, and they will assist you, and you don't have to worry about who they are, what they are, because you know that they're from the angelic realm. Does that make sense? So that might help with the overwhelm. And I would learn how to ground yourself and Also take control of your energy as best you can. I'm not saying that you don't have control over it. I'm just saying that the more that you have dominion over it, the more you get to choose what you let in versus what you don't. I love meat. Well, good. You love meat, sis. Then good. Eat it, eat it, eat it. Eat it, queen. Eat it. General or past life, whatever you're feeling. I feel like... What do you feel like, Jen? Do you have a specific preference? Hey, Lisa, how are you? You don't have a specific preference, Jen? Try not to let it traumatize you, Queen Kimmy. Call in specific energies if you need to. Call in Archangel Michael. He will straight up protect you in like a big way. But you also have to believe in the power of that protection, right? You have to know and have faith in that power that it's going to sort of come in and take care of you and whatever's in your space. Whatever you've maybe sort of, you know, sometimes we let things in and we carry them around with us for a long time and we don't even realize we need to let them go. They can be, that's why when we do the breath work in the morning, see, actually, Jen asks about the breath work. You're not really with us in the mornings. You only come in on the night stuff. In the daily forecast, we do the 3 breaths every morning, and it's kind of like a little thing that I've been teaching the people that watch me in the morning. So it just helps to center and bring everything more into balance, and then from there we're in a more optimum place to kind of have that dominion over our space to not allow stuff in that like affects us negatively. Dealer's choice. All right, let me see. I'm feeling past lifey, Jen. All right, let's just get into it. I am turning the camera on. Let me switch cameras. See what we've got here. This is weird. Okay. So you have a D, a P, E, a P, a V, a D, and an L. You have close to devil, which is sort of interesting. But anyways, the minute I look at this, Jen... Oh, whoa. You guys don't have the camera. Hold on one second. Is the camera working? Hold on. Okay, let me... Why is the camera not working? Let me adjust something. Hold on one second, because you guys aren't showing the charms up here. Okay. Sorry, these are the charms. Can you guys see them now? Queen Kimmy, you can, yeah. There's space if you want. But let me do this really quick. So, the minute I look at this, Jen, I look at this, like, screams to me male life right out of the gate. Like, and I feel like the thing that's, this is really weird. Okay. I'm not sure. This doesn't feel like it's a faraway life. This car and this male here are giving me this idea of male life. And I get taken back to, I'm not even sure, maybe, when was the car first invented, guys? Do we know, like, when the Model T was, or around that time, when the first car was, if that was in the 1800s, late 1800s, early 1900s. I feel like this period, Jen, and I feel like there's this issue where this family charm pulls my attention. Like I feel like quite possibly you lost your family in this lifetime. And the reason why I say that is because of this. Not only is this family charm here, but this single die is here, right? Which makes me feel like you were somewhat alone towards the latter part of your life. And also Ganesh is flipped over, like it feels like bad luck to me, or like some sort of stroke of maybe misfortune befell you, and it affected your family in such a way that it maybe left you alone on some level. Also, the breathe charm here tells me that you kind of needed to sort of breathe through this, or breathe through this lifetime, that this was not like I feel like, how do I want to explain this? Like I feel like you did well for yourself in this lifetime. I feel like you were male. I feel like this card keeps pulling my attention. Like I think it was either around the time of the first vehicles being made. Like I don't feel like this was very far off. And I'm also sort of seeing, like those newspaper boys, like, when you see those movies where they've got the kids. I'm thinking of the movie Newsies. Like, I don't know what era that was, but like with the caps, and everybody wore vests, even the little kids, and the funky pants that came to like mid-calf with the buttons on the side. Like I'm seeing that sort of period. I don't know what period that was. Maybe Al Capone, like at least it's saying Al Capone era. The 20s possibly. Was that when the cars were made? I don't know. I'm almost maybe feeling like it could be the late 1800s. It all sounds familiar to you? Are you serious? Because that's what I'm picking up here. And it feels like you sort of lost. All right, hold on 1 second. I need to look at a few things really quick here, because I just want to make sure that I have these things correct. I think that this is the symbol for. Is this Virgo? And is that. What planet is that? I think that is planetary. I should know these by now, and I forget them every time. I can't remember what I had for breakfast. Planetary symbols. It's the one that looks like the Star Trek. This is Uranus. Okay. So Uranus is on the board, Jen. No. Uranus, if I remember correctly, is the bringer of hard lessons, too. Let me just double check that. I'm pretty sure that Uranus is the one that kind of brings back... Sorry, hold on. I'm totally like searching this shit on my phone right now, but I think that that's what's going on here. Significance. Yeah, it's like it says here, it symbolizes inventive power, riots, change, tension, and revolution. Uranus is also the higher octave of Mercury. And when we talk about Mercury retrograde, right, it's always about wonky shit and everybody is sort of like having troubles during Mercury. This is Uranus, or Uranus. And to me, Uranus is always like the bringer of sort of like resolution through hard... lessons. And so it's funny that we have the mood ring also in here, which to me not only signifies like a wedding, but it also signifies your mood and the loss of your family around this time. Now this symbol here, I think is this Virgo? Let me just double check this 1 second. Astrology, I think it's Virgo. I need to like print these off and hang them on the wall so I can find this is your symbol? I think this is Virgo, right? Oh no, this is the symbol for Scorpio. It's the tail of the scorpion. Why did I think that was Virgo? Oh, because Virgo's like that one that's got the crossover. It's also like an M, but it crosses over. All right, so this is the symbol for Scorpio. And Scorpio is also about hard lessons. Scorpio rules sex, death, and regeneration. That I know for sure. So Scorpio is definitely an emotional sign, a water sign. And it's kind of like the most, to me, when I think about Scorpio, and I think I've explained the story about the fish and the Scorpio, the Pisces and the Scorpio in a previous charm reading. But to me, it's always like Scorpio will sort of go to great lengths to, Scorpio endures a lot of pain. They can endure a lot of pain. Lessons of Scorpio to me sort of can be very painful, signifying in that tail, that sting, that burn. And so I just want to remove this and look at what this is. This is strength. And to me, when it's flipped over like that and the lessons of Scorpio are sitting on top of it like that, it feels to me like you probably had to muster up a lot of strength in the latter part of this lifetime. I feel like you went out alone. I feel like this was an incredible life for you as far as love. Like this says to me that the woman that you were with in this lifetime, you were very much in love with her. I mean, you were very much in love with your family in general, but this the two here says to me that this was kind of like you were quite settled with her and in love with her very much so. So the loss of this was a big blow to you. I think that this die here tells me that you never remarried and that you had to sort of do the rest of your life on your own, or you chose to be on your own. You chose to sort of deal with the pain of that. This says you can if you think you can, but it's upside down, which makes me wonder if you were ever able to really get back there. You do have a guardian angel here. I want to see which guardian angel this is. Down here next to the breathe. Let me see here. He's not coming up. Come on up, guardian angel. This is Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel. So, to me, hold on 1 second. Yeah, Archangel Gabriel is all about the Archangel for reconciliation. I think that there was a lot that you needed to reconcile in this lifetime about the loss. I'm also feeling like, I'm not so sure. I mean, I don't want to bring the devil into this, but when I look at this and we're sort of one level off the devil, I feel like quite possibly your faith was really challenged in this lifetime. Like that's sort of the significance of this lifetime. I feel like you were successful in this lifetime, like you did well for yourself, but the loss of this sort of the family unit or the love that you had with this woman really kind of stopped you in believing in sort of like your connection to God, or your connection to feeling like if you were a man of faith, you maybe lost your faith. And that's why this angel is here trying to sort of help you to reconcile that. I feel like when you were in this lifetime, you were a very kind and loving person, and it was sort of against your nature to sort of lose your faith. And I think that I sense this. You also have this heart down here that's flipped over with the crown in it. And to me, I feel like with this rose quartz stone here next to the heart, it feels like maybe somewhere you disconnected in your love. It never really left you, though. That's what I sort of feel like with this rose quartz to me, is it feels like the love stayed and was present in your space, but maybe you shut off your heart to a degree or turned it off. The crown in the center of the heart, let me just pull this heart up really quick. I want to show you this when it's flipped over and it's face down. There's a little crown in this heart, and this it takes me to this place of not only the heart chakra, but also to your crown chakra, which is your knowing. And so to me, when we have this rose quartz sitting on top of it next to the breathe stone, it's just like, sort of like, I feel like in the latter part of this lifetime, or you definitely, it was like a challenge for you to just sort of center and breathe and live sort of day to day, right? You never lost your your kindness or this loving nature within you, but I sort of feel like somewhere you lost your knowing or your connection, like to your belief or your faith in sort of the powers that be around you. Does that make sense? Because I feel like these were some lessons that were very tough on you. And it's kind of like, I keep sort of asking myself as I'm looking at these charms, like I feel like I want to say, like, why did this happen to me? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand, because I've been a good person my whole life. I've done right. I've done the right things. I've been sort of a man of faith. Like, these are the things that I feel like I want to say right now as I'm looking at these charms. And so it's like you never lost the fact that you had sort of a certain amount of esteem for yourself, but you sort of didn't understand why maybe like the most precious thing to you was sort of taken from you. Under here is also the crown chakra. This is your knowing, and it's flipped over. This is on the amethyst stone. It's flipped over though. So again, I feel like when this happened, or the significance of this happening in this past life, this lesson that it was sort of like, I mean, to me, Uranus is like the bringer of karma, right? The sort of he brings back the old stuff. And sort of makes us deal with it, makes us face it. And I feel like, and also Scorpio, the idea of Scorpio being like a sort of, it can be painful lessons around sex, death, and regeneration, right? I don't know if this was an auto accident. I feel like the family passed all together at once. And I don't think they had planes there, but it was some sort of an accident, even if it was like, I don't know. I just feel like it was like they were there, and then this sort of misfortune happened, and then they were gone. And when they were gone, you had to carry on, and you did, and you were strong. Like this strength charm says to me, you were strong, but maybe you didn't feel strong, or you didn't feel like you always had the strength. This lesson sort of sat on your strength. And I just sort of feel like look at this, PD, like police department. Maybe you were a policeman? I don't know. I just feel like this might have been somewhere where you started to think that maybe I really get the sense when I'm looking at these charms that you didn't understand why this happened to you. Why you suffered a loss like this, because the lifetime that you had lived, you were actually very kind. And I feel like, too, this man here represents sort of you, but also represents sort of your association with, say, maybe your faith or your religion. The fact that he's face up yet turned upside down feels like your world was turned upside down, but also your faith was maybe called into question during this lifetime because of this loss. Oh, Kelly, you were thinking PD too? I just noticed it. PD is possibly police department, is what I was thinking. I just feel like you weren't like poor by any means. You were kind of like at least middle class at the time, or you did well for yourself. You had a good life, is what it feels like to me. Who's calling me right now? From Austin, Texas. I'm not sure who that is. I'm not answering it. Hey, K. Sarah, how are you? Sorry, guys, my phone is ringing. That's what you're hearing. Somebody's calling me from Austin, Texas. I'm not exactly sure who. So that's my feeling for this lifetime, is that it was sort of like a thing where you had to work really hard for reconciliation. Uh, um, Within your life and with your relationship to God, I feel like. Jane the scammer, totally Queen Kimmy, scammer. So where I want to go with this, Jen, is it makes me think about connections and vulnerabilities to loved ones now. And I wonder if there is some sort of like worry or fear that possibly things could be taken away from you in this lifetime that you maybe deal with that might seem totally irrational or cuckoo or crazy, right? But you don't understand why you feel that feeling. And you don't have to say that you do or don't. I'm just sort of throwing this out there because I'm trying to ask, like, why would this come up today? And sort of like what I feel like I want to say is that, do you ever find yourself having sort of scary, irrational feelings of getting close to, say, family members, or the fear of losing them, even though it seems irrational? I think that some of this stems from the memory of this somewhere deep in your sort of subconscious or your DNA or wherever, because of this lifetime. It makes me feel like the lessons, like I said, again, were very hard and kind of, I also feel like I'm not sure that it was fully reconciled in this life. I think that you tried. This green die says to me that you stayed single and tried to heal yourself. And you probably, like, the feeling that I'm getting from this lifetime is quite possibly you died of natural causes, right? So you lived out a fairly long life. I feel like you sort of maybe died alone in a hospital or something to that effect, right? But like you took care of yourself, you went on, you continued to sort of move forward in your life, even if you didn't understand why this had happened to you. And I feel like you tried to work at understanding it, but I don't know, like, this Archangel Gabriel says to me that there was an attempt at reconciliation. Like, I feel like his presence was in your life. You might have questioned him or talked to him or spoke to God about this or tried to, you 100% feel that way, Jen? That's what I'm feeling like in this life, is that you kind of don't, you're like almost fearful to attach in this life because you lost so much so instantly. Like, to me, this feels like boom. It was like out of nowhere, and you were like, WTF? Like, what happened here? Why did this happen here? And the reason why devil, to me, why this comes up as like devil, is that you started to maybe think that bad things. Do you know what I mean? Like, the devil of our mind. I don't think that this is the actual literal like devil. What I think this is sort of like, this is like allowing the devil to come in, when really in all actuality this was about sort of deep hard lessons in strength. If it says here, you can if you think you can, and because this if you think you can is upside down, to me it feels like you tried, but I don't know that you quite got there. You didn't find, like, the love here to me was so pure and real. It was a huge loss to you. And it was a huge, I mean, I have to say this, okay? As far as for a male, what at this time or this like era, I feel like you were like, this rose quartz is making me feel like you were very loving, you were very kind, you were a good man. And so I don't think you understood in the quickness where all of a sudden everything that mattered to you was sort of taken away from you. It's like, I feel like you sort of let in the idea of maybe the devil or that sort of a thing. Do you see what I'm saying? And you weren't able to stay connected to your spiritual strength, your even your own knowing, because like kind of everything went up in the air when they were taken from you. Like there was after this, it felt like there was no real nothing was assured, right? Nothing was stable anymore for you. Even though you were very stable in this lifetime, I feel like you even kept, like, I feel like with this breathe charm and this strength charm and this singular one die here, it says to me, no matter what, you held it together as best you could, even though you maybe didn't feel like you were holding it together. You actually did hold it together much better than you gave yourself credit for, but you never quite understood why, and you never quite trusted sort of life again. You said, yes, and I've had instances where one thing happens and everything changes in this lifetime that I've had. Wait, let me see, I can't read all of this. It says, yes, and I've had instances where one thing happens and everything changes in this lifetime that I've had to make sense of, which led me to all you fine people. Well, you're a fine person too, my dear. And I want to say this, in this lifetime, you were a very fine quality in this life too. That's what I want to say. It's like, I'm looking at this and it's like, you know, you really were doing right in this lifetime. And I think that, honestly, like, I think that your wires got crossed and you felt like this was something that was being done to you, if that makes sense. And that's where this sort of these letters for devil come in. It's sort of like you let that devil in the door where you started to believe like, oh, what did I do wrong? Why did this happen to me? And these two dice here are telling me that this was just a very hard lesson that you had to sort of come in contact with, that you sort of were kind of, because these are like, it's funny too, because you got both of the astrological dice up here. You've got the planetary dice and the astrological sign, which that didn't even occur to me until now. But this was sort of, to me, this is saying it was written in the stars, right? Like you, and I know this sounds crazy, but I'm going to go with it for a second here. What I'm feeling is like you were born under a certain sign at a certain time to come in and fall in love in this way, to sort of have this situation where this was pulled out from under you. And you didn't know that, you weren't consciously aware of that, but these two astrological dice to me sort of indicate that it was sort of set in stone, not set in stone, but like it was sort of the lesson that was to be learned in this lifetime. And it was a huge one, right? And we're still sort of learning from it because that energy still lingers. And I kind of, I don't want to say whether yes or no you got it in this lifetime, but I kind of get this sense that you might have gone to the grave sort of wondering this whole time, like, why did that ever happen to me? What did I do wrong? And it had nothing to do with anything that you had done wrong, right? And that's the part that I think is what you maybe didn't discover in this lifetime. You kind of maybe always questioned it. And so you might still have a little bit of that residue in your subconscious now, where you might question like, oh my God, am I doing the right thing? Because I don't want to have everything fall apart, right? And it's sort of like you might even find yourself having like this moment where you're like, well, that's fucking kind of crazy or irrational. Why do I feel that way? I think it might stem from the experiences here. I also get a feeling like that this is like not very long ago, in the sense that this was like maybe 2 or 3 lifetimes ago for you, if that makes any sense. K Sarah says, neat. I saw horoscope spreads on YouTube. Does that happen here too? They happen. I do those. I tape those and put them on my YouTube channel, K Sarah. So I pull single cards here in between charmings, dear. So does that make sense, Jen? Uh-oh, did I lose my chat again? Did you yeah, I know I see that. Thank you, Kelly. I do see that from Jen. Do you want to screenshot this, Jen? Well, what I want you to understand is what I think the gist of this is that some of this in this lifetime needed to just be the realization that it had nothing to do with you, that it was sort of outside of your control, that it could have very easily just been a matter of misfortune versus, you know, sort of some ill intent or something bad happening to you, right? And so instead of taking that on as if it was your punishment or your you know, trying to figure out why you deserve that or why that happened to you and question that, I feel like this is coming up tonight so that you can sort of be aware of that, so you can maybe, if you do have any of those sort of lingering worries or doubts and you're not really quite sure where they come from, this is an opportunity to sort of release those things and let them go. It's funny that we've been seeing that grief card every morning, that Nine of Swords. There's certainly grief in this lifetime. And so, but I think that that grief is sort of maybe something that naturally you would feel it, right? Because this says to me that it was a very significant love. There was a very significant union and based in love and care. But I think that this wasn't about you being punished in that lifetime. Does that make sense? And I think that maybe you might have interpreted this experience like that and carried that through that lifetime, and maybe have carried some of the residual of that or the memory of that somewhere deep inside of you into this lifetime. And it's kind of like, okay, so now we talk about it and we sort of acknowledge it and release it and know that, you know, that's no longer the case, that it was maybe just a sheer act of misfortune and not, it didn't have anything to do with who we were or what we had done in that life. Because to me, you were a very good person in that life. You already did? Okay. I'm going to close this off then. All right, so let me find some music really quick, and then it looks like Kimmy sent over. She did. Thank you, Kimmy, Queen Kimmy. Let me just double check my PayPal really quick. And Kimmy is next for a charm reading. Let me just make sure that I haven't missed anybody, and I'll pick music and we'll get into it. Yes, I did, Queen Kimmy. Thank you. You'll be next. Perfect. All right. Is there anybody here that's new that wants me to pull a card for them? Somebody that's hella new? But you have to be subscribed. You have to be subscribed to the channel. Where is my charmy music? Is it this one? It's this one I think that I like, yeah. Well, Kat, I don't think I've ever pulled a card for you, right? And you've been here since the start of the broadcast, so. Hey, and Natasha Ali. Have I ever pulled a card for you, Kat? I don't believe that I have, so I'm happy to do one for you if you'd like. And then Queen Kimmy, you'll be after Kat's card. Queen Kimmy. And if Kat, if you want a card, all you have to do is tell me like a subject, and I'll shuffle the deck. That's fine, Anne. Don't worry. If you'd like to wait around, I can do a card for you after Queen Kimmy and Natasha. Because I know that we were supposed to do one for you last Friday. Oh, and let me put names. Jen Nichols. Jen Nichols. These are for the drawing. And Queen Kimmy. Health? Okay. Queen Kimmy. Okay, you guys are getting put in there. Yeah, if you don't mind waiting for a moment, Natasha, I can pull a card for you. But I'm going to do first this card for Kat, and then a past life charming for Queen Kimmy. All right, you guys are in there. Let me get my deck of cards. We'll use this deck. I have almost like too much stuff on my desk. Okay. So health for Kat Metzenberger, please. Kat, can you just give me a quick, just yes or no? I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and I just want a yes or no for them. I know that there's a little bit of a lag, so I want to ask, do you have something existing going on with your health right now? I feel like you do. My attention is being drawn down to my left side by my belly on the side. I'm not sure if it's in the front or the back, but it feels like kind of above the waist in that area. I don't know why. And I'm just double checking if this is yours or mine. I also feel like the third question I want to ask you is if you do have a health issue going on or something that you're dealing with right now, does it feel to you like things might be moving slowly or not, like answers might not be coming quick enough, or people aren't acting fast enough? Like, to me, there feels like there could be a frustration or being a little bit annoyed with like not getting the answers you want or things to be moving quick enough. Does that make sense to you at all? She says yes, but is that yes to all three, Kat? I don't know. My attention is going to my left side of my body, down in my midsection. I don't know like what organs are there. Maybe the liver? I'm not sure. But in that area, let's see what's going on here. Is that a yes to all three? Inspired juggler. All right. I actually think that like this is yes to all. Okay, good. Thank you, Kat. Thank you for that validation. I appreciate that. So with this card, I feel like this. Oh, I actually felt that, Kat. Whatever you just sent me, I felt that. That little stroke on my head. Anyways, the inspired juggler to me feels really beautiful, right? I feel like there's a centeredness and a balance that you're trying to keep in your health department, right? I feel like there's all of these balls that you have up in the air, and you are trying to keep sort of them balanced. I do love that I see these three here. We have like the mind, or what we would say like there would be the body, the mind, and say the spirit up here. This is very similar to our breathing work triangle that we do in the morning. I don't know if you've attended any of the morning broadcasts, but we do this breath work thing in the morning where we talk about the pyramid. And it seems like you are trying to get a balance going here. And it feels like you could very well have that balance. But what I'm looking at when I apply this card to health is it feels like these are like maybe thoughts, worries, ideas, all these things that are being tossed at you, maybe via doctors, diagnoses, maybe Googling stuff to try and find the answers. And I really feel like how do I want to say this? I really feel like you will have the answers that you're seeking, but it's like you have to sort of settle yourself, and you are. This meditative pose says to me that you are trying to stay as balanced as you can, but to me it feels like there's a lot of, I don't want to say interference, but maybe outside influence going on, a lot of different possibilities. And those possibilities, this Buddha here has this face here, and then this face looking this direction, and this face looking this direction. And when I see that, it feels to me like maybe you don't know which way to choose or which way to go, which decision to make. Maybe the information is not clear yet. I do feel like with the green color down here that healing is near you if you're not already beginning to experience it. If you look at this card, like where my pointer is right here, see how there's this sort of white light that's starting here in the card? To me, it feels like this energy here is swirling down maybe in the ground. I know that sounds a little bit corny, but to me, it feels like it's below you and it's about to be pulled up into the body. And that energy is sort of like going to be healing because of this green color down here. So I feel like healing is on its way. If it's not already here, it might actually already be beginning for you. You might be aware of it even. I think that there is also a beautiful white light here that I see in the card, which says to me that it even admits maybe sort of conflicting opinions or whatever these this juggling of these ideas or these energies here. I feel like you are trying to keep a positive light about you. This also speaks to sort of the light we emanate in the morning during the broadcast. But I feel like you are trying to keep a positive mind, even if there is some doubt or some questioning at times where you're like, wait, do I go this way? Do I go that way? Is it going to turn this way? Is it going to turn that way? Stay centered would be my advice to you. I'm not a doctor, by the way. I have to say that if I'm doing a health reading, I feel like it's my obligation to tell you I'm in no way medically equipped to be giving out health advice. But I feel like this is a beautiful card. I feel like the fact that it's called Inspired Juggler to me says that you can juggle some of the issues you might be dealing with more ease than you maybe give yourself credit for. That maybe you've been dealing with this situation and you're actually much better at it than you maybe think. And if you actually held that idea or that thought central in your mind, you might be able to sort of ground and center and get more stability in this situation. And at that point in time, you can even pull up more of this green healing energy up into your body and get more centered and get more balanced. There is a beautiful balance here, which says to me that I think you're heading in the right direction, even if you don't maybe feel that way at times, right? You might feel like, I feel like this, it's funny, I feel like this could be sort of interference or other people's opinions or things that might, not confuse you per se, but make you think, am I doing the right thing? But I even think that there is sort of balance to this at a certain point, and that's the inspired juggler. Like when we find that inspiration, around what we're doing and how we're meeting the challenge head on and still choosing to be centered and grounded in the midst of it all, and choosing to be sort of inspired by it versus being in resistance to it, our whole situation changes. Our whole relationship to the health issue or the health situation changes, and we actually become kind of, I want to say, like in control of it versus it controlling us. And I don't think that it's controlling you per se. I just think that there's times when it maybe knocks you off of, like these three faces say to me, it kind of makes me feel like there's times where you're unsure. But for the most part, this feels like a very beautiful, very beneficial card. And just some like fine tuning needs to take place. And as you do that fine tuning and you find that inspiration, this light is just shining around you and you will be okay. I love that. She says, dang, you're good. I've been staying away from my meditation lately, and I know it helps my stress lower. My fibromyalgia is so much better than when I'm not anxious. I'm not laughing at what you said. I just think it's funny because, thank you, because that's what this card says. And when you're centered in it, you almost can like deal with it in a very masterful way, even though it's a pain in the ass. Like fibromyalgia is not a joke, right? It's a real, it's a pain in the ass, not a pain in the ass literally, but it is a painful diagnoses. And this to me feels like you actually, when you are meditating and you are centered and you're balanced, you really kind of can have it and make it work for you as in a very sort of beneficial way. Like there's times where you're actually a master over it than it's a master over you. Does that make sense? So I feel like this is actually a really good card. It's just a reminder to get centered and sort of make this sickness your bitch. You know? I do feel like there's improvement in this card, right? There's healing in this card. I even love the gold color up above all around her. Like to me, gold is also very healing. So I think that that inspiration of healing oneself can be very powerful, powerful medicine. So I'm gonna remove this card and do Kimmy's charming. I hope that works for you, Kat. And I hope that you heal up and get to a place where you are feeling wonderful. You can always join us in the morning. We just do 3 simple breaths in the morning just to kind of get ourselves centered every morning at 8:30. Around 8:30, I try and be on every morning. Kimmy, are you still with me, Queen Kimmy? Have to ask me what? I'm confused. I think I missed part of the conversation. You're welcome, Kat. You're very welcome. Queen Kimmy, what do you want your charming to be on? What subject? What you need to hear right now? I guess we could do that. I was gonna do Queen Kimmy, and then I need to do Natasha, and Natasha's. And then I think that's kind of, I mean, if somebody wants to do that, that's up to you. If you wanna, we can do that. Okay, a message you need to hear from Spirit right now, Queen Kimmy. What does Queen Kimmy need to know right now? Oh my gosh, okay. So there's a lot of word tiles, which is funny to me because it's like, what do you need to hear right now? So, are you kidding me? Wisdom. Only you can give your special gift to the world. You betcha. Your dreams are attainable. Everything is okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. I think we needed a more specific question, Queen Kimmy. And then we have Vishnu right here in the center. We have the emotionality of the crab, the Cancer. To me, this feels like... I'm going to say, okay, what I want to say about all of this is that I feel like some of these were flipped over. Which ones were flipped over? Shit, I shouldn't have flipped them all over. I think your dreams are attainable was not here. Like, I want to say, why are you not believing in yourself is kind of what I want to say. Because these three, I believe, were flipped over like that, correct? And when you flip them over, it tells you basically that you have all the power within you. You have the key, right? Vishnu is here, Lord Vishnu is here, and he's like this omnipresent, like wonderful God, wonderful Indian deity. And I feel like he is sort of similar in Hindu culture. He's kind of like how I believe, I could be misquoting this now, but I believe he is similar on the scale of like God. There's Vishnu and then there's Krishna. And that's similar to like how in Christianity we have God and then we have Jesus, right? So Vishnu is like God and then Krishna is like the incarnation of Vishnu, one of the many incarnations of Vishnu. So to me, when I see Vishnu here, it feels like you have sort of the backing or the power of all that like sort of heaven can allow, so to speak, is what I want to say. The dolphin up here in the corner signifies intelligence and communication. And he's up here next to the you betcha, next to the key, right? Which says to me that like, I feel like you have it all within you, but I feel like you might let your emotions get the best of you or your mood swings get the best of you. That would be this crab. It's making me think of being crabby or also Cancer, and Cancers are known for their, you know, swinging back and forth in their emotions. Not that that's a bad thing, but that might be what's sort of getting in your way. The one thing that we have here is wisdom, but sitting on top of this wisdom was the are you kidding me? Like where it's like feels to me like you're not trusting yourself. You're not trusting yourself and your own wisdom and moving forward in that. You might actually be sort of allowing your emotions to get the best of you, and you're not talking to, like, to me this represents sort of like connecting to your higher self or your higher power, and you have the capacity to do that. It feels like Vishnu is here, or your God, your higher self, your soul. You have the possibility of doing that. And this reminds me, now I just realized, you know how they say like in memes, oh hi, H-A-I, this is like the lie, L-A-I. Like, where is it that we're telling ourselves a lie in a cute way? So, like this, are you kidding me? Like, I can't trust my own wisdom? No, actually you can, is what I want to say there. You start to trust your own wisdom, and that's when all of these guys sort of flip over. You start to believe that only you can give your special gift to the world. Your dreams are attainable. Everything is okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. Like, we can trust what's going on, right? But I feel like this trust, this wisdom, And your own intelligence and your own ability to communicate really is key for you right now. This key feels like, to me, like you have the power to unlock all the doors, and that's why this you betcha is up here. Sorry, did I knock the camera out of... Come on, refocus, please. It's not refocusing, damn it. But that's why this you betcha is here. Like, it says to me, like, you have the power. It's all right there. But let me see if I can... Is that better? Oh, that looks better a little bit, slightly. So it feels like you have the power, and that's what you need to know right now, is that your dreams are attainable. Only you can give your special gift to the world. Like, all of these positive thoughts are there and available to you if you allow yourself to access them. And you have to trust your own internal wisdom and not question yourself as much. That "are you kidding me" feels like you're doubting yourself a little bit too much. And it feels like, to me, with Vishnu here, like you have some heavy duty like help or assistance. I would imagine, I would go so far as to say that there's been times in your life where you've probably been blessed with great opportunities and not really, maybe you've acknowledged it and forgotten about it. But it feels to me like he has been around you for a while. And he may not be Vishnu, right? Vishnu is just a Hindu god, but whoever this is sort of like your spiritual protector, your spiritual connection. It's around you and it's there for you. Access it, use it, and then trust your own wisdom and move forward in that. Jail? J-A-I? No, it's L-A-I. Sorry, the words are backwards. For some reason, my camera transmutes everything backwards. Oh, really? Well, maybe they got an L and I hear... That's kind of cool, and Natasha Ali. Let me say this. Sometimes I think that spirit doesn't spell very well. So they could have been trying to be spelling Jai, and they didn't spell it correctly. I don't mean any harm by that. What I mean is sometimes they'll be missing a letter, or they'll like spell it in like phonetically. So that could be their attempt at Jai, and we just got an L. That was the closest thing that we could grab. Can't always be Ermine. We had Ermine the other night, and that was like kind of blew my mind. So anyways, you took the screenshot? Awesome, Kimmy. Yeah, I believe it could be, actually. It makes more sense. Because Vishnu is definitely there. Like, he's kind of sitting right there going like, okay, girl, let's get this together. All right, let me go back to that camera. Okay, so now, and Natasha, give me just like a subject that you want me to read on. It's not easier said than done, Queen Kimmy. You need to believe in yourself. That's the thing, is like you need to believe in yourself. That's that wisdom. You have it. It's there on the board, but you're like doubting yourself. Like that's that, what did that say? Not the you betcha, but the other one said, are you kidding me? Like you're not giving yourself enough credit, dear. So, and Natasha, do you know what you want your card to be on? Or like just a subject? If not, I can just do general. General? Okay. Let's see what we got for Anne Natasha Ali. Oh wow, this card comes up a lot when we do charmings. So this is Upon a Star. It's so funny that this card shows up all the time. Upon a Star to me is very magical, right? This card is always about sort of spirituality, about shining our own light, about being the bright light that we know that we are, even if at times maybe we doubt that, or we sometimes think that quite possibly we're not that, right? I wanted to say, like, as I was shuffling the cards, that there was like sort of a nervous energy in the deck. I'm not exactly sure what you might be nervous about, if you are nervous at all, but I was definitely feeling like that there was a nervous feeling as I was shuffling the deck. And so, to me, when I look at Upon a Star, I feel like this is an ease that happens within us when we start to trust ourselves and our true spiritual nature and allow that light to shine. And when that light shines, that's the sort of purple that we have up here, and then the white light down here, and just sort of all of the beautiful like emanation that's coming out of this. When we start to trust ourselves and we don't sort of like have those nerves or those maybe those worries, we can really start to make our dreams come true. And this card always makes me think of that song, "When you wish upon a star, our dreams come true." And so, like, this says, remain open, remain able to dream, remain like in your own light, in your own positivity. To me, I would feel like this says to me that you're probably a very sweet person, a very loving person, a very kind person, and that shows. And I think that you can continue to do that and stay in that place, but also acknowledge the strength of that, the beauty of that, even if others don't around you acknowledge that. They maybe don't see it or validate it as much as you would like. But I feel like this card, to me, it's such a beautiful card, and it's so like, in a way, powerful, that it's like at this point in your life or at this point in time, you may not need it to you may not need the outside validation anymore, right? That's what this card sort of says to me. Is it's like it's all about you shining on your own, you sort of being in your own power, you acknowledging and validating who you are and what you're capable of, and really making that happen. This card shows up a lot in the Charm Nights. It's funny. I love that this card shows up so much. It's a beautiful card. It's really about magical energy. It's really about, to me, about being in our true authentic self and shining that forward, and really seeing the beauty of who we are, and using that beauty to kind of be the star that we are, and allow others to sort of see that. And we sort of, there's this quote that I have hanging on my wall over here that says, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small doesn't serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we consciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others." And that's sort of how I feel like this card is. It's about not allowing that fear to get in our way, being our true authentic self, shining in that way, and honoring ourselves in that way from a very, to me, with this purple, it makes me think of this, the seventh chakra, which is at the top of your head, which is your knowing, right? Your claircognizance is up there. And so to me, this is about owning that from a deeply spiritual place and knowing that and shining that light. And, the power behind that is incredible. Dreams can come true. Thank you, Ducky. Ducky says that was a very beautiful read, but I forced Ducky to say those nice things. So I think that's it for tonight, guys. Let me see here. I'm going to flip the camera around. Does anybody have any questions for me? I know there's like 13 of you watching, but nobody's saying anything. Hey, Laura, how are you? I didn't see you come in here. Hi, Laura Gibson. What's going on? I'm going to see you in Florida in February. I can't wait. I'm excited. So, Natasha says, been shining from all the negativity and staying positive. Just been nervous, supposed to start working Sunday, and I've gotten a call back, yet you haven't gotten a call back, but you're keeping positive. Stay positive. That's what this card is about. It's about staying positive and don't worry. Wish upon a star. Hi there, Laura. You're welcome, Ann Natasha. I'm glad you were able to come back and get the card. I'm super glad that you were able to do that. I don't know if anybody's been tuning in for the morning forecast, but they've been crazy. Hey, Tammy. Tammy's like, chunky laying low. Hi, Tammy. How are you? I'm glad you're here, honey. Oh, thank you, Laura. You've never seen my charmings. There's other videos of them, too. We do past lives and stuff. Tonight's a kind of quiet night, but it's been a good night. So, Divya, you want a card on your love life? All right, because you're new to me, I'll do a card for you. I love that Tammy's hiding in the background watching the charming. Tammy, dear, you never have to hide. All right, Divya Saini, I hope I'm saying that right. Let's see a card for your love life. 1 second. Oops. That didn't bode too well. Let me see here. Hold on. I'm going to switch the camera really quick, okay? You're welcome, Natasha. You're welcome. So I'm going to say this, Divya. I'm just going to put this out there. There feels like there's a little bit of awkwardness going on. I'm not sure what's going on in your love life right now. Like you might be feeling like you're struggling or not being able to make things work very well. There also seems to feel like there's a little bit of a heaviness on the deck right now. Like there's a little bit of maybe struggle going on. I don't know that this is struggle from an outside source as much as it might be internal struggle within yourself about trying to figure out how to make things work or make things right. But let's see what card comes up, okay? Yeah, it's funny, like every time I pull the cards together, this last card wants to shoot off. That's not normal. I mean, I'm not saying it's not normal, like I don't want to freak you out, but that's not normally what these cards do. It's funny to me that this last card keeps wanting to pop off. It like kicks out. It hasn't always been doing that. I'm noticing that. Like the energy on the deck feels a little frenetic. So we have breathe deeply. So as I'm looking at this card, it's a really beautiful card. I want to say this though, it makes me feel like this card is about, and I think you're going to hate me for saying this, but this card feels about like you being single for a little while. I don't know if you're single right now or if you're in a relationship. I have a feeling you might be single, but what I do love about this card is to me it feels like this is about the relationship to yourself first and foremost. As I look at this card, I feel like there's a beautiful heart chakra activation happening here, and there's a lotus blooming here as the grounds for sort of spiritual knowledge, right? And there's also a lotus growing up here in the crown, right? So to me, it feels like what we know up here, what sort of spiritual growth, because the lotus is a very spiritual flower. Also, we need to ground in and make the basis for our sort of maybe our love life or what it is that we want in our love life. And as we open our heart to that, and as we stay centered and meditate on that, we can begin to create that. We can begin to call that and create that from our heart. So this is actually a very positive card, but the breathe deeply aspect of it, it says to me that that's the title of the card. It says to me to get centered and clear on what it is that you want and how it is that you want it, and start to create that, versus what I was sort of feeling in the shuffle was a little bit of struggle or a little bit of not nervousness, but what was it that I was feeling? It was kind of, there was a bit of a heaviness, like a resistance. Not that the resistance is coming from you, but you might be getting situations that you're finding are resisting you or not quite working out the way that you want them to, and you're sort of maybe frustrated by that. But to me, it feels like this card is telling you this is about going inward and understanding what you need at a heart space level, and maybe giving that to yourself, knowing that, opening up to that, growing in that, making that the basis and the foundation for what it is you need, and then going about creating it, which I believe that you can. What? Mermaid Queen, hi, how are you? I don't understand. I'm scared. I feel like I smell certain scents sometimes. That's called Claire. There's a Claire for that. What's the name of it? No, taste is Claire Gustafson's. You have to look it up. There's actually a Claire for smelling scents, Mermaid Queen. So that's not a bad thing. I don't necessarily, people have that a lot. It's not unheard of. I don't necessarily always have that. Like sometimes you'll smell like cigarettes. I've had these situations where I've smelled like cigarettes and dog food, even though I'm nowhere near cigarettes or dog food. But that could be a psychic thing that you could be dealing with. It's not a bad thing. And some people do it in tastes. It smells like sandalwood. She's laughing. Yeah, see, Tammy's saying when her father-in-law passed, she used to get his smell sometimes. I know people that smell roses, or they smell their mother's perfume. It's not uncommon at all. I mean, does sandalwood, it says, if you're saying that you smell sandalwood, Mermaid Queen, does that have any significance to you? Divya, you're welcome. This is a beautiful card. I really think that like the love that you want is something that's very pure and lovely, and that you can create that. But I think that there needs to be some sort of a centering and a meditation where you sort that out within yourself. And as you do that and you start to really ground in that, you're going to create something really lovely. But like meditate on that stuff and really get centered in what it is that you want and how it is that you want it. Hold on, my cat's here. How it is that you want it, and then start to begin to create it from that space of centeredness. And I think that you'll be pleasantly surprised, my dear. Well, then that would be, if you're awaiting the divorce, then I would also, this is another thing where breathing deeply and being meditative about it and being patient would be a good place to be. Operating from a place of love versus a place of fear or anger. And I'm not saying that you are in fear or anger, but this card would be a reminder to just stay centered and love yourself through this period right now. You just feel calm smelling it? Well, maybe it's spirit trying to calm you down. Are you smelling it when you're having like any sort of anxiety or anything, Mermaid Queen? That's another good question. If you see Tammy's question, did someone burn sandalwood incense that you knew or know now? Because sometimes they could be trying to get your attention that way through the reminder. Your mom did before. Maybe it's burned into this couch. No, maybe it's your mom saying hello, Mermaid Queen. Is your mom passed? When you smelled it, you had the anxiety, Mermaid Queen? Oh, your mom is still alive. Okay. Because sometimes people smell stuff from the other side, if that makes sense. Like, mediums will work with their sense of smell to smell different things, and they, like, it reminds them of a relative that's been passed. Like Tammy was saying, she would smell her father-in-law. What's going on? Hi. Mermaid Queen, subscribe to my channel, girl. Bring your sandalwood smelling ass to my channel, girl. Subscribe and hit that notification bell. You're welcome, dear. It might be your spirit guides. That's what I'm saying. I think, oh no, it was frankincense, myrrh, and gold, I think, that they brought to the Christ child. They didn't bring no sandalwood incense. They weren't a bunch of hippies. You did subscribe? Thank you. Awesome. I need subscriptions, girl. I don't understand YouTube. It's hella hard to get subscriptions. Hey, ouch! My cat is attacking me. My cat is a dick. He's right there. Help. Can you hear him purring? He's totally purring. He's such a shit. He comes in here at the end. He always knows when to come. Like, it's like the animals know when, like, the 2-hour mark comes, because they like to show back up and go, okay, come in to bed, daddy. And look at this little shit. He's like a pin that I have on my lapel. Little twat rocket that he is. Huh. What are you doing? What are you sniffing? Oh shit! He's found the button zipper pull. He thinks it's a toy. He has his claws out. Ouch. My titties. My kitty's on my titties. What are you doing, you ding dong? What are you doing? Help! I don't trust him because he just woke up and he walked in here and climbed up in my lap, and he's half asleep, and he can be kind of a little bit of a jerk sometimes. And he doesn't have, when he had surgery, did he have surgery? What did he have that, I can't remember. For some reason, at the vet, we had to put those little things, because, he was on medicine, and I didn't want him clawing me. We put those little plastic nub things on his nails, and they lasted for quite a while, like maybe about a month or so. So I kind of got used to having him not having any ability to scratch me, but now he does. And I think that he also got used to, like, being able to do whatever, and it didn't hurt me, but now he comes up and he, like, just grabs onto me and climbs into my pant legs, and I'm like, he's a jerk. He's not a jerk, but I don't know how old he is. He's under a year, I think. My cats like to get involved, cat. My cats. Hey, cat. My cats. Cat Metzenberger, my cats like to get involved in the readings, too. There's just not enough room on this desk. He tries to crawl across it. He does try. Cats are totally attracted to tarot cards. It's weird. They love the energy. They, like, dig it. They totally dig it. They do have internal clocks. They know. I love that your dog... Is your dog named Cujo? That's hilarious. My dog Cujo. What do you want? Yes, Mermaid Queen. What, Give me a subject that you want the reading on, and I'll pull one card for you. Stop it, Sven. You're being a dork now. Hold on. Sven, you're just being weird now. General? Okay, I can do a general card for you. Okay. Hi, Karma Flores. Welcome. Hello, how are you? If you subscribe to the channel, yeah, it's still, he's under a year old, my cat. Yes, Mermaid Queen. And Karma Flores, you can be added. I'm just doing single card pulls for new people tonight. But I ask that new people subscribe to the channel. Okay, so I want to talk about what I was feeling when I was shuffling the cards really quick, because the card that I just flipped over totally confirms like sort of what I was feeling, and I wasn't sure if it was me. I started out tonight really tired, but as I was doing your shuffle, I've picked up my energy just doing this. But for Mermaid Queen, I want to ask, are you tired or feeling fatigued lately? Because I couldn't tell if it was mine or yours, and it's feeling like, no, we're not going to claw Daddy's legs to climb up on his lap. Learn how to jump. It feels like to me that there was a tiredness when I was shuffling the deck. So I just need a yes or no on that, Mermaid Queen. Would that be something that you're physically like dealing with right now, like a tiredness or a fatigue? And I'll show you the card that I've got going on. Ow! Ah! No, Sven. No, we don't use our claws to climb up Daddy's leg. That's not how it works. I'm not the couch. Ouch. Don't chew my... Please. Okay. I feel like the card that you have is Cellular Collapse. And to me, this card feels like there's something going on, either at a mental level or at an emotional level, that's really kind of taking its toll on you right now. When I look at this, it feels like I get the idea that this feels to me like something needs to sort of come to an end so that you can sort of give yourself a break and give yourself sort of the rest that you need. But I feel like emotionally or mentally it's being blocked right now. That's this white light. Today I'm seeing this white light behind this, and it feels like this to me is blocking it. I feel like what I want to say here is whatever you have going on that's maybe causing you anguish, confusion, uncomfortability, it could be leading to sort of health issues. It could be leading to some of that fatigue. Hold on, the cat's getting into things. No, go on. No, we're not gonna do that now. Lay on the rug. It feels like to me, you might potentially be focusing too much on what's not working or what's stressing you out versus focusing on what is actually healing and good, which is this light behind it. Does that make sense? What I want to say is that you have the power to sort of heal this or bring about change in this situation. That is this white light that's behind it. But you have to acknowledge what you're doing, and you have to sort of almost step out of your own way so that this light can come in and kind of give you the healing or the rejuvenation that you need. So I would say let go of those worries. You're saying, yes, I had a lot of worries. I would let go of those worries as soon as possible. So only because I think that this could potentially lead to sort of health issues if you're not careful. And I'm not a doctor by any means, but like when I think of cellular collapse, this makes me think that this could be sort of like negative thoughts, possibly anger, emotional thoughts, just heavy emotions that are sort of getting in your way, and it's kind of spreading out into other aspects of your life, and it's sort of not allowing you to see your light, not allowing you to see that light that's within you, sort of blocking it a little bit. I mean, there is still access there, and the light is there, but I also want to say this too, whatever you're not trusting as far as your intuition is concerned, stop doing that, because I feel like you could be blocking your own intuition or maybe taking other people's advice or information over your own. And you might want to stop doing that I feel like you have very strong intuition and that you actually can access the answers, but you kind of need to get to maybe a higher vibration or a more positive place so that you can access that light or that intuition. But that's okay. So you're saying here that it's because I feel like I'm not doing anything. Sometimes maybe that's okay. Maybe you're not doing anything because you need to sort of get to a place where you can sort of get in touch with the fact that you're maybe being really hard on yourself. And you need to release some of these heavy emotions, because if you don't, you're going to end up probably having some sort of issues possibly. Try and get out a little bit if you can. I mean, because what's going to end up happening is, or sort of as I'm looking at this card, what I feel like could potentially happen is that if this stuff begins to manifest so much so that it hits you at a physical level, it's going to force you to sort of face it. Don't be a perfectionist. You don't want perfect. Perfect doesn't exist. The one thing about the natural universe, I think, is that there's always change and there's always constant growth and change, whether it's for the good or for the bad. If something is perfect, that indicates that it doesn't need to change whatsoever. When you reach perfection, perfection is dead. Do you understand me? Like, in essence, when perfection is achieved, or the goal of perfection is a lie, because perfection means that there's no room for growth, there's no need for change, and that's not a natural function of anything in the universe, right? Because the universe runs on energy. And so energy is constantly evolving, constantly changing. Even when we die, we just go to another form of energy. That's my firm belief. And so what I learned a long time ago is when you look at the energy and meditation of perfection, perfection has no movement. It has no flow. It has no color in it. It has no vibrancy or life. It's just dead. It's dull. It stops. It stagnates the energy and just stops right there. And we get caught in this idea of, oh, I want it to be perfect. I want it to be perfect. Perfect doesn't exist. What if perfect is actually right here, right now, in this very moment? And we're missing it because we're so busy trying to get to this ideal that doesn't exist. And if we've actually got to that ideal, we'd find that this isn't it either. And I only say that to Mermaid Queen because I used to do it. You know, I used to get caught in things being, and I still sometimes do, where like if a certain something, I'm not so much a perfectionist, I actually embrace my flaws and I laugh at myself a lot more, which I have way more fun doing that now. But when I was younger, I used to get really caught up in trying to have things go a certain way, or I had a certain amount of steps planned out in my head of how something needed to play out. And the minute it went off track, I would freak out. Oh my God, maybe I'm not doing the right thing. I still do that sometimes. But the thing is I've learned that that's not necessarily the truth. I need to be more open to other options and other ways of getting there. I can sort of formulate the plan, but I can also trust the universe enough that I can go off plan, and if I get there, I get there, and if I don't, that's okay too. Or, you know, like I can enjoy the journey as I go versus freezing because the journey doesn't go the way I saw how it was supposed to go in my head, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Well, I feel like perfection can be here and now, Mary. Like, I think that we attribute everything to this idea of perfection, but the actual concept of perfection is a dangerous concept and a lie. We don't want. I want chaos, not chaos like where the wheels are falling off, but I want things to be like, I like the idea of instead of here's something. I'm gonna just switch the cameras really quick, so I feel like I'm talking to you even though I'm looking at myself. It's so weird. I feel like this: instead of perfection, what if we aspired to grace and ease? I like those energies better than perfection. Perfection is so boxed in. Like, it's so like, I can't move. It's perfect. I can't change it. But grace and ease just kind of keep moving. They keep flowing. But they're easy. They're graceful. They're lovely. Like, that's what I aspire to nowadays. It's just handling things with grace and ease. And if I fuck something up, which I do, allowing myself the grace and ease to have humor around it, right? And to laugh at myself and to maybe, you know, make right on something that I screw up. It's not the end of the world, you know? And so I offer myself that grace and ease as I get older so that, you know, that whole perfection thing it's a scam. It's a robocall scam. Don't pick up the phone, girl. Don't give him your bank account number. It's a Nigerian prince, bitch. He's trying to get your bank account number. Do not let him in. Cellular collapse, girl. Don't do it. Trust your own intuition. Get out of your own way. Don't let that Nigerian prince in your email, girl. No way, Jose. And I don't even think you're Mexican. I'm just saying, don't do it. Although I do love a taco. She says, and I'm just so picky and it drains me to pretend or be fake, so I just don't deal with it. Atta girl. There's a way to, you know, find balance with all of this. And turn your trajectory or your goals towards, instead of perfectionism, grace and ease. Try that for a little while. Focus on that. Walking into a situation, I want to handle this situation with the most grace and ease as possible. Imagine that grace and ease are your two old lady girlfriends that you hang out with all the time. And fantasize about having grace on one side and ease on the other. And they're two old biddies that protect you and bring you through life. That's actually a really, really good visualization. Bring in good old grace and ease. They're like twin Italian sisters that are like 89 years old, and they're bringing food and love and enjoyment for you and protection because they've been through it all, they've seen it all, they know it all. Nothing daunts grace and ease. And they will sit on either side of you and carry you through any situation. You just call upon them. I like that visualization. I am fully fucking using that one for me. I'm stealing that Mermaid Queen. Spirit had me give that to you, but I'm keeping that one too. I'm using that one too. That's going to be part of my meditation series. Good old grace and ease. Focus on not. Stony says focus on not falling down the stairs. That's a good thing to focus on. That's actually a really amazing thing to focus on. All right, so let's move on. Where is my other YouTube subscriber? Was it Carla? Was her name? Miss Carla, can you tell me if you're still here? Focus on not falling on the stairs. Now that's rules to live by right there. That's where you want to put your focus. If you make it through the day without falling down the stairs, you have won, bitch. You have won. Winner, winner, golden chicken dinner. The golden girl's the new breed. Exactly. Grace and ease, man. I would straight hang with some older women. I love me some old ladies. They know. There's no fucking around. They know. I took care of my grandmother and my great-grandaunt. And those women, they were tough. No joke. And my grandmother had dementia. She didn't even know like what was going on at any given moment, but she was like a one tough old lady. Sweet as pie, but if you crossed her, ooh, watch out. And Bernice too. She'd straight like she'd lay down the law. And Bernice was smart as a whip. Okay, so is Carla not? Oh, Karma, that's you. Karma Flores, you're here. So Karma, did you still want a card? And then at that point, I'm going to wrap it up, I think, for the night. But anybody that didn't get a card that is interested in coming back, please hit the subscribe button and hit the notification button. We do this twice a week on Wednesdays and Fridays. If I had more of an audience, I would do it more nights a week. But right now, Wednesdays and Fridays, just so I don't drive the few people that watch me regularly crazy. And then we do a morning broadcast every morning at 8:30. I'm not calling you old, Mary. Granny Waffles. What are you talking about, Mary? You're crazy. Okay, did you have a subject, Karma? Do not scratch up that furniture, Sven. I will kill you. Kelly Talbot says, I work in a nursing home and that she loves her honorary old ladies. They can be hard to deal with, but they know their shit, man. I love old women. Like, I kind of love how loving they can be and how much knowledge they have, yet they can also just put you right in your fucking place. That's us, Mary. We are Indian from the Slapaho tribe. Really? Karma, did you have a subject you want me to read on, or just do a general reading, dear? You're welcome, Divya. Oh, general. Oh, sorry, I didn't see that. Okay, Karma. Here we go. General reading for Karma Flores. Thank you, Spirit. I want to say hello as I'm shuffling the cards to sort of like feeling restrained or tense, Karma. I feel like this shoulder, which would be my right shoulder, don't scratch your ear, baby, would be my right shoulder. I feel like sort of like I want to curve my shoulders in, but I feel like there's something going on up here. I feel sort of restrained. Like it makes me think as I'm shuffling the cards, is there something where you feel sort of stuck? Don't tell me about the specific situation. Just give me a yes or no. if you feel like you want to do that. I don't want to know specifics because I want to read the card first that we get for you. But it feels like I feel restrained, like we might feel stuck in, say, a situation that we don't like, or a situation that is feeling like it's pulling on us. It's not that you're angry at the situation per se. It's more like you're, and I don't want to use the word trapped because trapped is a very strong word. Yeah, it's a bulldog cat. It is a bulldog. You're thinking the same thing. What do you mean, Karma? Like, are you feeling stuck right now in a certain situation? I'm confused, dear. Yeah, she's over here on the side of the desk snoring. Alright, so here's your card, Karma. It's the Huntsman. We've had this card before. I like this card because it feels like there's a directness to the energy of this card. It feels like we have a target or we have something that we're aiming for that we want to hit. And I feel like we have an option to get to it, but we need to take that shot. I feel like that, it's funny too that I was getting this, this shoulder thing and this guy's pulling back a bow in the card. So to me, do we feel constrained or do we feel restricted right now in our lives where we don't feel like we can take that shot? That's where this takes me. It makes me think like, are we fearful, or is there somewhere in your life that you're fearful of like taking the risk and actually going for it? To me, what I want to say is this feels like if you actually went for it, you'd have favorable results. This to me feels like a dead-on shot and you're going to hit your target, but you have to decide to take the shot. Does that make sense? So if there's anything that's making you feel like you can't or that you're fearing, try and allow yourself out. I'm sorry, the cat is like chasing the rug right now, but the rug's not moving. If you're fearful about taking the shot, allow yourself to do so. I feel like you've been holding back for far too long, and that's maybe that sort of shoulder thing that I was feeling like is maybe you feel like if you let loose or how do I want to put this? Like stake the claim or make the move for it, it's going to shift things or change things, and there's a little bit of fear in that. Don't let that fear be the deciding factor in whether or not you take this step or do it or move forward. To me, it feels like it's a pretty clear path. Yes, there is a chance. Like, I feel like in your mind, there's a chance that you may not hit the target or you may not get the results you want. But I feel like that's your mind. I feel like this path between the arrow and the target are very clear, right? And this is an easier, how do I want to say this? Like, this is an easier path to traverse than you're believing. So to me, I feel like there's strength in this card, especially in the bow. Like you have the strength within you. You have the ability to do it. You have the precision to do it. But for some reason, you haven't done it as of yet. And there's something, I feel like there's some sort of reason that you're holding back. Like it's almost like maybe another person or like you're afraid the decisions that you might make, or if you took this shot, or if you stepped forward and did this, made this change, whatever it is, you're going to affect somebody else. So you're making your decisions for yourself in regards to somebody else and their needs. Is kind of the feeling that I get from this card. I would let go of that and do what you need to do and get out there and create it for yourself. Be more active in that creation versus passive. I was looking for further clarification just for the hell of it, and you get the Hanged Man. This is a big decision on your part. I feel like, Karma, I can understand why you maybe haven't taken the shot with this huntsman, because this Hanged Man to me says that, like, this is major arcana, right? So it's not without its heft or the importance of this decision, the importance of making this commitment, whatever it is that you're contemplating and you haven't done yet. It feels to me like you are you understand the sort of significance or the severity that could happen from it. But I want to say with this Hanged Man, it's like we get the opportunity to sort of unhook ourselves, to set ourselves free. It's also interesting. I'm looking at this white sphere here, and I'm looking at this white sphere around the opossum's face. And to me, it feels like we sort of know what we need to do. We can sort of see that light here, right? And here. And we just need to get ourselves unhooked and step forward. Be brave, right? Don't let the fear or the magnitude of the Hanged Man sort of stand in your way. That possum looks pissed. He's like, wow. No, it's an opossum. It's a possum. Is that a cat? No. Is Karma even here still, or did I lose Karma? So to me, this feels like a big decision, and a decision that you're aware of. Yeah, it is a possum, Lisa. It's got magnitude, but that's the thing. Like, anything that's, you know, with risk is worth it, because there's usually a bigger reward. So does that help? Does that make sense, Karma? No. Shucka my pepper. Okay. Okay. Alright, I checked it. It's fine. So, I'm going to leave that there. I hope that helps, Karma. I feel like the decision you need to make, you need to sort of do it, that you have all the ability to do it. Don't be fearful. Stop holding yourself back, even if it is for another person. Yes, it might feel like a big decision to be made, but only you can kind of let yourself out from underneath it by moving forward. Is that like a pun, Ducky? Did you get your screen shot? Get it? Karma? I think you can hit the target, my dear. For sure. You have the strength and the ability to do it. It's just like you don't believe it. You think your situation is worse than it really is. kitten. Oh, yeah, drawing times. Thank you, Ducky. Thank you for reminding me, because I would have forgotten. All right, I'm going to switch cameras. All right, so we're going to do the drawing for the reading for this week. Let me see here. Okay. Lisa Vanderhelm's asking just a question. Does Sven sniff your coffee? Trust me, there's a reason I ask. Gizmo used to sniff the coffee grounds when I... Something the coffee. It was truly an odd habit. I don't think so. They don't... I use the Keurig stuff, so they don't really get access to the coffee. And they don't really smell my coffee cup because it's usually in my hand or it's up on the desk, so they don't really get close to it. They don't really have an opportunity to. I mean, they would probably... You're welcome, Karma. You're very welcome. Don't overthink it, honey. You've got this. The Huntsman is a very clear and precise card. When you clear your mind and your thoughts, you can make it happen. All right, guys, I'm going to do the drawing for the mediumship readings. So let me see. I'm going to just pull one name a week, I think. So we'll pull one today. See who's the winner. It's Jen Nichols. So she's not in the room anymore, but I will let Jen know. So Jen is our winner. The other names will stay in here and more names will be added. So those of you that bought Charmings are still in here in the running for a mediumship reading that can be done over the phone or Facebook video. So I will contact Jen and let her know that she won this. And I think that's it, guys, for the night. Thank you, everybody that tuned in. I appreciate it. Ways that you can support the channel. Follow me on Instagram at Engelgeist333. Don't leave just yet. We're going to just blow some sage through the interwebs at you all. To clear off your energy, my energy, everyone's energy. My friend is calling right now. Let's clear off her energy. Not right now. You're gonna... No. Just because I messaged you back doesn't mean I'm available. So you guys, you can follow me at Engelgeist333. You can purchase private readings with me. If you have any questions, that information is... you can message me at the business page, and I can give you that information. Saging the charm box. I do have hour-long private readings that can be done over the phone or Facebook video. Those can also be gifted during the holiday season, so or at any point in time. If you wanted to buy somebody a reading for a birthday gift, that's available to you too, or a Christmas gift. What else? Please like, share, comment, subscribe, share the video if you enjoyed watching it. Share it with your friends. Tell your friends about me. I'm trying to get the word out. This is what I want to do for full-time work. And so anything that you guys do to help publicize me is a huge help. Right? If you did subscribe to the channel, thank you very much. Hit the notification bell so you know when you get notified when I'm on live. I go live every morning for the broadcast and then twice a week for the Charm Nights. And if there was more of an audience, we would do it more than 2 nights a week. But right now, I just don't want to drive the viewers that I do have crazy with me being on too often. All right, you guys, but thank you so much. I know it is Cheech and Chong size, and it won't go out either. It's still burning its way. I'm trying to put it out as I'm talking to you. But it's nice. I got this in Mexico, actually. So... trying to get it to go out in my abalone shell. Sometimes it catches fire like deep inside. Oh, I catch fire deep inside. So, I'm gonna go watch Dark on Netflix. Ducky turned me on to this new series called Dark. And so I've been watching it and trying to wrap my head around it. It's pretty good. Anything else? Do you guys have any questions? Anything? Yeah, and Ducky's also telling the new tarot scopes are out. Please go watch them over on my YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And they're there for you as sort of like a little channel thing. And the Januaries I'll put out soon. And that's it, guys. I think that's it. I'm gonna get... Alright, this is my holy water that actually came from a church. But I actually spray it on the sage because I don't want to set the house on fire. Alright, you guys. And it's holy water, so it can't hurt it. Just empowers it! With the Holy Ghost. It's still fucking burning? Oh, God. Alright. So... They have spiritualists down where? Kelly. In Mexico? The TV show... Wait, hold on. I'm confused, Kelly. The TV show is called Dark that Ducky and I are watching on Netflix. It's a series from Germany. But it's made by Netflix. It's like Netflix TV series that's filmed in Germany. The only thing that annoys me about it a little bit is that it's dubbed. So you can tell that their mouths are speaking German, even though that there's English voices added to them. So they don't sound like how they sound on the TV. That's a little bit weird. And then what are you asking about spiritualists? This is still burning. Yeah, there's all kinds of different spiritual stuff down in Mexico. I don't know if there's spiritualists. Mexico itself is a very religious country. And then they also believe in a lot of different, like, sort of black magic and Santeria and stuff like that. There's different stores that you can go to where they sell, like, charms and spells and all sorts of stuff like that. I didn't really get into that stuff too much down there. But I found a nice little store in my neighborhood that sold sage and like crystals and stuff like that. That's down there. It's not as widespread as here, obviously. I feel like, you know, Mexican people, they don't make the kind of... There's a fair amount of... I don't know, it's hard to explain. I don't want to sound like an ignorant American, but, you know, I didn't find a lot of like... you know, hoodoo metaphysical stores down there. It was more about, where is it? What was the name? There was a certain saint that Santa Muerte is one of their saints. She's like Saint Death, I believe. There's different, they have a bunch of different whole, you know, they have the whole Catholicism there. There's a big, bend to the Catholic religion that's there, and then there's like sort of this other alternative stuff that's there, like Santa Muerte and other people that they worship. But I didn't get involved in all of that. I just kind of stuck to what I knew, and I was down there hanging out. So yeah, this came with me from Mexico, just because I happened to buy it down there. I had a couple of them because they were nice and big. And so, yeah, and now it's not going out. It's actually burning even brighter. What the fuck are you doing? Cut it out, Sage. Look at this. All right. So you guys... Oh, Angel's here. Angel's hiding in the background. Yes, down in Mexico. Lady Guadalupe was yesterday? Was it? I don't know. Good night, Laura. Have a good night. Yeah, it's a very... I mean, they have Dias de los Muertos down there where they honor the dead. In Mexico, it's a whole day where they build giant... what do they call them? They have a name for them. But these giant sort of altars for their past relatives, which is really beautiful. It's very different than anything we do here. It's very cool. It's a big celebration where they celebrate the dead. I mean, they talk about it in the movie Coco by Pixar, but I've never seen the movie Coco to know. But I've been to the Dias de los Muertos celebrations, and they're beautiful, and all the cities do them. So they have a very interesting sort of spiritual connection. Yeah, maybe it does want to clear all the energies. I just don't want it to burn down the house when I leave here. All right, so I'm going to sign off, you guys. Have a good night. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And I will see you guys in the morning for the forecast. All right? Have a good night. Bye-bye.